When the mind is still, the soul shines through. This simple truth holds the secret to peace that humanity has forgotten in the chaos of the modern world. Today, we live in a time when the mind has become our master. Thoughts never stop, distractions never end, and peace seems like a distant dream. But thousands of years ago, Lord Krishna revealed to Arjuna the eternal path to mastering the mind and finding peace beyond all disturbances. Those words, spoken on the battlefield of life, are as relevant today as they were then. So, let us listen to Krishna's timeless message, not as a story from the past, but as a living wisdom for our restless modern age. The root of restlessness, the untrained mind. Krishna once told Arjuna, the mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. When it is under control, it serves you. When it is uncontrolled, it destroys your peace. Think about this for a moment. Every day, we are surrounded by noise, endless scrolling, constant notifications, unfinished thoughts, and unfulfilled desires. We live not in the world, but in the chaos inside our heads. Krishna reminds us that our suffering rarely comes from the world outside. It comes from the storms within. The restless mind imagines problems that do not exist, creates fear out of shadows, and keeps us trapped in constant worry. Peace does not come by silencing the world, it comes by mastering the mind. When your mind is scattered, your energy is wasted. You start your day tired, not because of what you have done, but because of what you have thought. 100 thoughts fight for your attention, and by nightfall, you are drained, not from living, but from thinking. Krishna's voice echoes gently. The one who has conquered the mind has conquered the world. For the mind is the first battlefield every seeker must win. Understanding the nature of the mind, before we can master the mind, we must understand it. Krishna describes the mind as both subtle and powerful, like the wind. It cannot be forced, but it can be guided. The mind has two main tendencies. First, it runs toward pleasure. Second, it runs away from pain. This constant movement, chasing what we like and escaping what we dislike, keeps us restless and unbalanced. Krishna teaches that the mind takes the shape of whatever it focuses on. As you think, so you become. If you think of fear, your mind becomes fearful. If you think of peace, your mind becomes peaceful. If you think of love, your heart opens. So the first step to control is awareness, to know where your mind goes when you are not watching. Ask yourself, where does my mind rest when I am silent? Does it wander toward worries, or does it rest in stillness? When you begin to observe your thoughts instead of reacting to them, you take the first step toward freedom. Krishna's method is not about suppressing the mind, it is about guiding it, like a wise charioteer guiding wild horses. The chariot of consciousness, Krishna gives a beautiful metaphor for the human journey. He says, your body is the chariot, the senses are the horses, the mind is the reins, the intellect is the driver, and the soul is the passenger. When the horses run wild, the chariot crashes. When the driver sleeps, the journey ends in chaos. But when the driver holds the reins firmly and guides the horses with awareness, the chariot moves safely toward its destination. Most people let their senses control their mind. They react to everything they see, hear, and feel. But the wise one, Krishna says, holds the reins of awareness. They do not let every impulse, every emotion, every sound control them. They respond, not react. That is the secret to balance, awareness before action. Remember, you are not the horses. You are not even the reins. You are the witness, the quiet observer seated in the chariot, watching everything unfold. When you live from that awareness, the awareness that sees thoughts but is not disturbed by them, you discover peace. It is already within you, waiting for silence to reveal it. The practice of stillness, Krishna teaches that peace is not something you must chase. It is already within you. It simply needs to be uncovered. He says, in the silence of a steady mind, truth reveals itself. Start small. Every morning, before the world demands your attention, sit quietly. Watch your breath. Watch your breath. Notice your thoughts, but do not chase them. Let them rise and fade like clouds in the sky. The goal is not to stop thinking. That is impossible. The goal is to stop identifying with every thought. When you stop believing every thought that passes through your mind, the mind begins to calm naturally. You realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. With time, stillness becomes your natural state. Even when chaos surrounds you, your mind remains undisturbed, like the ocean beneath the waves, the enemy within. Desire and resistance. Krishna reveals that the greatest obstacles to peace are desire and resistance. Desire pulls the mind outward, toward what it wants. Resistance pushes it away from what it dislikes. Both keep the mind trapped in movement. He says, the mind attached to desires is never peaceful. The one who accepts all that comes, good or bad, is unshakable. Most people believe peace will come when life gives them what they want. But Krishna says peace comes when you stop demanding that life must always please you. Even small desires, craving recognition, fearing recognition, wanting approval, keep your mind tense. True peace begins when you learn to accept life as it is, moment by moment. Acceptance is not weakness. It is the highest strength, because it ends the inner struggle. When you stop trying to control everything, life begins to flow naturally. You act with full energy but without inner agitation. You give your best, but do not cling to the result. That is the path of true freedom, action without attachment. The beginning of mastery mind control is not about suppression, it is about transformation. When you train the mind through awareness, it slowly becomes your greatest ally. You stop reacting emotionally to every situation. You stop taking everything personally. You learn to pause before responding. Each time you resist the urge to react, your mind grows stronger. Each time you choose calm over chaos, you move closer to mastery. Krishna says, the one who rules his mind rules his life. So begin today, not with fear, but with faith. The path to peace is not far. It begins with a single moment of awareness. When you learn to hold your mind steady, when you act without agitation, when you see without judgment, when you love without condition, you realize what Krishna meant when he said, the peaceful mind is the doorway to divine joy. The three pillars of mind, control. Krishna outlines three practical ways to master the mind: discipline, awareness, and devotion. First, discipline. The mind must be trained. It is not your enemy, but it needs guidance. Set daily practices that strengthen awareness. Wake up early. Sit in silence. Choose your words carefully. Eat mindfully. Every small act done with awareness shapes the mind toward clarity. The more disciplined your daily actions are, the more peaceful your inner world becomes. Second, awareness. Awareness is the constant remembrance that you are not the mind. Whatever happens, you stay as the observer. You may feel sadness, but you are not sadness. You may experience anger, but you are not anger. You are the one who is aware of it. When you stand in this awareness, the waves of emotion pass quickly and the ocean of peace remains untouched. Third, devotion. The deepest form of mind control comes from surrender. When you dedicate your actions to a higher purpose, the mind loses its self-centered noise. You act with purity, not out of ego. You work not for praise, but for love. Krishna teaches, offer every action to the divine. Work with full heart, but lead the fruit of action to the universe. That is devotion, action without pride, surrender without weakness, love without attachment. The final step, unshakable peace. When the mind is disciplined, aware, and devoted, it becomes your servant, not your master. No matter what happens around you, success or failure, pleasure or pain, your peace remains unbroken. Krishna says, the wise person remains the same in honor and dishonor, in joy and sorrow, in gain and loss. Such a person lives in the world but is not bound by it. This is unshakable peace, not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of balance. You still face challenges, but you do not lose yourself in them. You feel deeply, but do not drown in emotion. You act with purpose, but without pride. When you live this way, life no longer controls you. You become free, not because the world has changed, but because your mind has. Krishna's wisdom is not a promise of an easy life. It is an invitation to live consciously. He reminds us that peace does not depend on what happens, but on how we respond. The storms of life will always come, but you can remain still at the center. The secret is not in escaping the world, but in mastering your own mind. Because when the mind is under your control, everything else falls into place. So remember this, whenever your mind wanders, whenever your thoughts overwhelm you, pause, breathe, return to awareness. In that stillness, you will hear the voice of Krishna, not from the outside, but from within. And that voice will whisper the truth that every soul must one day realize. The one who conquers the mind conquers peace. The one who conquers peace conquers life itself.